with Carly and Madison. Boom, boom,
Hey.
boom. Today we're on episode 5. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Damn, girl, we've been doing good. And today we're talking about all things manifestation. So, that is my favorite thing to talk about. So let's get right on into it.
Yeah. Let's
Carly,
talk about it.
what got you into manifestation?
Ooh, I don't know, it was ages ago when I started to even understand what manifestation was. I never really knew what it was before. I didn't really care or think about it. I always thought it wasn't I thought it was just an idea of thinking of something and then you get it right away. And I didn't think I actually quite believed in that back in the day, like older version of Carly. Okay. Ooh, this is how I got into it. So it was my old job at this vegan cafe where I was working before in the back kitchen, and I was working with this guy, and he inspired me so much every day. Like, he was just one of those people who talk so much wisdom to you, and you want to know what they're saying and you want to take advice from them. And he said, and I was having some issues with whatever it was, some bullshit back in the day. And he said, Carly, I really want you to do something for me. I want you to write out your perfect day. I want you to write out the best day of your life in present tense, but it's in the future. And I was just like, okay. And he gave me that activity to do. And I wrote out my manifestation. And that was the beginning of everything for me, because I actually, for the first time, got clear on what actually I wanted. And I never thought about making things clear enough to make a goal, because I was always one of those people who would go with the flow with things. But manifestation, I find, is just having a lot of clarity, right, on like what exactly you really want from your life, and then doing the work to get there, matched with a very good attitude, right? And then they ended up coming true. Just like side note, my manifestations that I wrote on that day were sitting in a cafe out in front of the ocean, tropical ocean, the cold, warm, tropical wind on my face, and surrounded by my loved ones. And then I found myself on the Gili Islands where I live now. And I sat there and I had this moment where, honestly, I'm not even kidding you, Madison. I had a moment where that moment happened, and I started to tear up, because I was like, this is it. And I didn't even go to a tropical country before that, when I wrote that down. And then, yeah, it happens. That's me in my beginning of it. What about you?
Literally, gives me goosebumps. That is right there. That is the shit. That is why we do what we do. That is why I'm so passionate about manifestation right there. For me, how did I get into manifestation? Well, my mom, so growing up, my mom always said, you can do or be absolutely anything you want. You just have to set your mind to it. And if I told her I wanted to do something, if I told her I wanted something, she would just say okay, if you want it, then go get it. Make it happen. And so I literally had this mindset of I could do whatever I wanted. I could have whatever I wanted. And that lasted throughout until my early 20s. I would literally just make shit happen.
Simple.
So simple.
Really?
That's the thing. So yeah,
Okay.
when I was in high school, there'd be times where my friends would be like, oh, I want to go to this concert or whatever. And I was 14, not working yet. And my mom would be like, oh, don't have the money for that or whatever. And I would just somehow make it happen, end up doing some weird side job for my dad in film, at the shop, cleaning it for him or something, whatever. I would just make something happen. And my friends would be like, how did you make that happen? And I'd just be like, oh, I don't know. I just made it happen. If you just want something, you just make it happen. And it wasn't, and I remember too, also, when I was 22, I somehow went on 8 vacations when I was dead ass broke. I didn't have any money in the bank. I was struggling to eat, but I went on 8 vacations.
What?
I don't even know where the money came from, to be honest. Out of my ass, I'm sure. But no, I manifested it. I said, I want to go there. I want to do it. I want to be on this trip, this event, and I'm going, and I'm setting my mind to it, I'm gonna make it happen. And I sure as hell did. I made it happen. And then I went through a phase when I was like 23, just before I started all my manifestation stuff, where I was like, oh, maybe you can't just really put your mind to it and it happens. And I probably had like a year and a bit of that until I just was like, yes, you absolutely can. I've been doing this my entire life. And so my journey with manifestation has been very, very interesting, but very fulfilling, you know? And I think about when I was younger and I would always make vision boards, obsessed with vision boards. And even like I would stick them in a closet somewhere and forget about it.
Mhm.
And then going back to it in like my old bedroom at my mom's house and looking at the vision board and being like, oh my God, I like check a bunch of the stuff off.
Yeah. Wow. It's so interesting to hear that, when you believed it, it happened. You got shit done. Things happened, right? And then all of a sudden, when you had that low phase of doubting yourself, and then maybe some people have this idea of, fuck manifestation. That's all like silly, like woo woo stuff. It doesn't happen, right? And then probably things didn't happen for you that year, right? Because you're in that state. And then all of a sudden, here you are, this manifestation queen, and things are happening for you because you believe it to be so. So I find that when people don't believe in this stuff, they're right. If
Yeah.
you believe in it, you're right. It's whatever you choose your perception to be. So I think that's why people sometimes see manifestation as not so, they just think it's not happening, or just like it's too up in the air for them. And then maybe things don't happen for them. They just say those people are lucky who make things happen. I think it's a combination of so many things, right? It doesn't have to be that complicated. I think it's just matching your what's the word, hunger, your want for change, your want for something different, and that has to match the next step, so of the action you'll take. So it's like action, manifesting, visualizing, really understanding what you want, and then action. Because if you don't have one without the other, you're kind of going in a circle.
Yeah. Totally. I absolutely agree with that. And it's also like what you're saying is like some people think it's woo woo or whatever. It's like, well, think about it this way. Do you believe in the law of attraction? Some people also think the law of attraction is woo woo. Okay.
It's a law, okay? It's a law.
It's a law. But if you don't, whatever, think about it this way. If we are all, we know for sure we're all just energy in this universe. We're all in this universe. We're all energy. And whatever we do is submitting energy, whether it be positively or negatively. Okay, this is science. Okay, scientific. Might not be saying it very sciencey, but it is science. Okay, but we are literally putting out energy, and you are literally going to get whatever energy you're putting out. You're going to get an energetic match. So if you're putting out the energy of I can, you're going to get I can. If you're putting out the energy of I can't, you're going to get I can't. Like as simple as that. You know what I mean? You don't have to really overthink it and put all these labels on it and put all these other things. If you just literally think about, if I am telling myself I can, I can. If I am telling myself, it's like that quote, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's exactly the same.
Yeah. I just think everything is how you show up in this world. And all those extra practices, like I love the journaling on, like, I have a mission statement. I can actually quickly show it. I won't read it because it's 4 pages. Um, where is it? So I literally have a mission statement. It's like back to back. So guys, I read this every single morning when I wake up in my morning routine, where I read my manifestations, meaning everything that I want out of this world. I really sit down with it, and I wrote and I typed this out. What I smell, what I hear, what I'm wearing, what I'm touching, how much money I'm making, how my business looks, how my friendships and my relationships look. And it's reading out loud to a point where it gets me excited, where it's channeling this emotion in me, right? Every morning. So it sets myself up, and I change my state from being tired and grumpy to being excited for life, for showing up into this next version of myself. And I found, like, Madison, when you show up in this kind of state, guess what? You attract happier things. The world looks happier. More opportunities start popping up. People say when you start doing this stuff, you start attracting more things, right? And that things start happening for you. Why? Because you are now all of a sudden taking that veil off of your eyes of maybe self-doubt or not thinking you're good enough or blah, 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 the bullshit we feed ourselves our whole lives. And then that's gone because you actually have to put in the work to change your state in order to show up each day your best self. And guess what? Good things happen in that way. And people see you and they're like, damn, what is she having? I want it. And then when people want to be around that energy, it's how it works, right? And so just like if you're walking out the door in a bitter state, guess what happens? Of course no opportunities are going to show up in front of you. Why would they? People don't want to be around that, you know? It's obvious when you really think about it, right?
It really is. And you think about too, like when you're in that state of almost like funk, you know, oh no, this is gonna happen for me, or da 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 da. It's like you're just yeah, like you said, you're attracting it, but also I totally lost my train of thought. It just like left me.
It's okay.
It'll
Well,
come it'll
you were
come back.
talking about a bit about like the rut when you like walk out and then you're feeling negative and stuff like that. Like,
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Sometimes you have to go through the rut to get the lesson, to actually appreciate and be
oh
in
yeah,
the mindset of being like, okay, I'm ready to attract. I had this situation and now I'm ready to attract. Does that
yeah. Yeah, of course, because you know, that makes sense. Yes, I'm glad that you remembered your train of thought. It's good. Those moments are like, they're vital, you know. I'm so thankful for every rock bottom and like horrible moment I've had, and moments where I've lost myself, moments where I, you know, was just in a complete and utter rut. And those moments define everything, for us. And they're so necessary. Not in the moment. We never realize in the moment that that is what it's there for. We just hate it and we're so upset. But that's why now, the more ruts you go in and the more you step out in this whole new world of like, okay, I'm a badass. I'm actually okay now. Let's wipe ourselves off. Things just begin to look a bit better. You're learning more about yourself, about what you actually, how you act in shitty situations, and what you really maybe want to change for the next rut that happens. Because guess what? It will. It's life,
and you're
right?
gonna see what you're ready or and willing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's again all on you and your perception,
Yeah.
right? I'm just trying to think, is there any other things that you do, Madison, to help you manifest? Like, I know you said vision board.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you've done that you can share maybe?
Yeah, so I do lots of different things. I always journal, like I journal it out. I every single month I do like a new journal of what I want to accomplish that month and manifest that month. And I try not to put too much pressure on it as well, because I feel like when I put like a ton of pressure, you're almost like blocking it, like, oh, I had. So the thing about manifestation is you want to put it down and you want to forget about the how it happens. You want to put down the control of, I want it to happen this exact way, because odds are the way you want it to happen, it's not going to happen that way. Odds are. Really think about all the things that you've made happen and accomplished in your lifetime. And think about how, when you got there, you went, wow, I did it. This is really not the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, it's never ever like you expect, ever.
Mhm.
I think it's really good to put like, a goal of like, I think your mind really loves, dates and like numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I read. That's what I've been using. So like a goal in like, let's just say 60 days for Madison, you want to reach your promotion in our business. Cause I know that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you don't like, you know, maybe what you need, you know what you need to do, and you have the time frame to do it. But I just think that if you put so much pressure on yourself to like get there, like, every day, like being very hard on yourself for it, and say it depends on how you operate.
Yeah.
um, but as long as you have the goal, the date, and then you kind of, what's the word, not release you, oh, there's a, where you just kind of accept, Surrender. That's the word. When you just
Surrender, yeah.
surrender. Oh my God, what is wrong with us today? When you surrender.
This is what happens when we record this at nighttime instead of in the
Yeah.
morning.
It's evening time. I should be in bed by now. I'm not gonna lie. No, it's 6:30. Um, but we showed up anyways, which is really good. I'm glad we are. And we're talking about like one of my favorite things in the world.
Me too.
But when you surrender to the process and you have a goal, and like I have to say, whenever I've gotten what I wanted out of this world, like any goal that I've had and I've actually gone for, right? I find that the ones who actually do make things happen is obviously like this is all manifestation in itself, kind of, where you have the really good mindset towards it and you have the hunger for more. And it's just more like you don't give yourself a moment to have like that negative headspace where it does happen. And I'm not saying to beat yourself up if you do have it, but like I've had moments where I've been constantly like, this is a non-negotiable. This is going to happen. Carly, you know you're worthy of this. Feeding myself really good words and affirmations, like we always say in mantras and things like that. And that's not all bullshit. If people think that it's just all words are not going to do anything for you, but it's words that you have to really say until you start to believe it, so that there's no room for doubt and no room for things to get in the way of you and your goals. And then every day, like, and then I'll look back and be like, wow, I said I was going to get this every day for every day I gave myself to get this goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I made my mind strong, and that takes time and effort, and it's like a muscle you got to build. But then you become kind of like this machine, like this manifestation machine, and you make things happen like you were. But maybe in the beginning, when you were on that first whole part of your life, you didn't know what it was like to doubt yourself. Like it was kind of that feeling of just like, this is just what life is like. And then doubt does creep in the older you get, right? Because
Yeah.
then people get in the way.
You get all, oh, is this realistic?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing about manifestation is I always say it's not woo woo. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be this. You don't have to be that. I am super woo woo. Okay. So I am. So the way I talk about it might sound a little bit more woo woo than it might from somebody else's mouth. So
It's fine.
take take that into consideration. Um, but for me, like I find it so important, like I said, to release that how, because I know I used to be I'm a Virgo, okay? I'm like, it's gonna be exactly this way. This is how it's gonna happen. Do, do, do. And then when it doesn't happen that way, I'm like, why did this not happen? Why did this go this way? And I get all pissy when really the universe is sending you a sign like, oh, nudging you this way because that way is not gonna do it. So let's go this way, you know? And instead of being like, oh, okay, let me just go with the flow, when you're blocking that, that's going to block a manifestation. And I think that's so important for people to understand because we get so in our heads. Like you got to get out of your head and into your heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much. It's at the end of the day, it ends up coming back to self-development, right? And like the things that you do every day to better who you are.
Yeah.
um because it's all it is. It's attracting good things because you are in that elevated state, right?
Yeah.
But it's not always easy. It's not. And it's not, especially if some people, like you say, when you want things to be perfect and in a certain way, and
Yeah.
um or like people pleasing, like perfectionism, all these crazy silly things that get in the way of us and like sabotaging ourselves and blending into all the other things we've actually spoke about on our divine discussions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I've done. Like if anything, I just got like myself educated on everything. Like I sat down and I just, really Googled the crap out of manifestation and what it actually means and how to actually do it. And that's a really good way just to dive into it, or find someone who's doing it and maybe pick their brain about it as well. Surround yourself with people who actually believe in this and like use this to not only use it, but prove it to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think
Yeah.
that's really, really important.
Yeah. Well, I just did a presentation on my YouTube channel all about manifestation. Go check it
Check
out.
it out.
This plug. Manifest Madison. Um, no, but I think you're totally right. It is super important to just like do your due diligence and research it. For me, when I saw the movie The Secret, because I saw the movie The Secret before I actually read the book. And that was like a big eye opener for me. I was like, oh, like all this manifestation stuff that I was doing is actually a thing. And you have to realize too, it's like, it's not just, I think a lot of the stigma about manifestation is people think like, oh, they're just like sitting there meditating on it and then it just happens. Like, no, you visualize what you want, you think about it, you write it down or whatever works for you, and then you go take the action. You take the action where it sees fit. And that's the most important part, right? Once you say it out loud and you ask for what you want, the
Mhm.
universe is going to give you things that you have to take action on to get there.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. I love as well asking myself, like this, let's just say whatever I want, like, what version of Carly do I have to be in order to manifest and attract these, let's just say X, Y, and Z, right?
Yes.
And getting clear on like also like, yeah, like it's just if you want to, let's just say also manifest someone of your dreams, you
Yeah.
have to ask, okay, I want someone who is faithful and whatever, all these things that you want in a man or a woman. And then all right, so if you want that in someone else, usually that's where you have to say, okay, well, am I showing up as that person? Because it's a mirror,
Yes.
right? That is what you attract what you are.
Mhm.
That's kind of the basics of it, right? If you want a partner who's going to be there for you and all these things, maybe you're not attracting these people because A, you don't think you're worthy enough of it yet, because on a subconscious level you're like maybe messed up from your past traumas, or you've been heartbroken and all this stuff. And then B, you're not showing up or acting like this person at all, and you're attracting these people who are a mirror to you. So then it's really getting clear on, okay, well, who do I have to be, and who do I want to be, and then who I want to attract, because that's all kind of comes back down to you and how you show up,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
Every day.
I love that you brought that up because I think that is so important. It's all about being an energetic match. And whatever goal that you're writing, you're trying to manifest, like that's the first thing you have to think about is okay, so the person that wants to hit that promotion, how does she show up? How does she show up every single day? What does she do when she's hit that promotion? What are the things that she does? Where does she hang out? Who does she spend her time with? Go so detailed that you can literally feel it, see it, smell it, taste it, right? And that's who you have to show up as. And that's how you're going to show up as that energy that's going to be a magnet for abundance and manifestation.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I love it. I love this stuff. I just feel like when you have a thought, that creates like your emotions that stir up. And if you can stir up some emotions, and whether negative or positive it happens, it kind of does an effect on your behavior and your actions that you take every day. That's what happens, right? That's how like everything goes down and through. And if your brain can't tell the difference between like, what's actually happening, your emotions will come up from a past thing that you can replay over and over again, right? And
Yes.
then you get like, you feel it all over again, and you can feel sad, right? You know how we replay our past over and over again. And some people, and I used to do this, is when I wake up every day and I'm replaying my past from the moment I wake up, and I feel bad and I feel depressed and I feel sad, I feel shame, I feel guilt, I feel whatever human emotions that come up, right? So I've been taught that instead of now waking up to that default, like right away feeling of, maybe victimhood or mindset where all you're doing is looking in the rearview mirror of your life, how about you sit and be intentional with the version of yourself that you want to be, and replay and reprogram your brain of things that are not here yet, but actually kind of light a little spark up your butt and make you feel super, super excited for, let's just say, you getting that promotion. It's happening. You're meeting the man or the woman of your dreams, and you're replaying it over and over again and visualizing it, kind of like a TV program. So instead of sitting there watching the news and getting all this bullshit and fear and anxiety, how about turn off the TV, get off looking in the rearview mirror, sit down, close your eyes, be very calm and visualize this beautiful version of yourself, and watch your own television set and see what happens. Genuinely, like the life that we can live by just visualizing and feeling and tugging on the emotions of what if, that's when you start to become the version of yourself that you want to be, because all you're doing is just constantly attracting these good things because you're deciding it to be so. And you can do it. It takes time, but like life looks a lot yummier because you actually are taking the time to do that. instead of just mindlessly watching bullshit and all that stuff that is getting you nowhere. It's keeping you stuck. And then you wonder why nothing's happening for you. Wow.
Ugh, I love that. It's so true, and it's like, on top of that, it's the more you're grateful for what you already have, and even the things that you have yet to receive, the
Yes,
more
huge.
you're going to receive. If you're grateful for everything that you already have and then some, you are bound to get more than you could even dream of.
Gratitude is everything. And mean it, feel it, like actually feel it. And don't just, like, what are you actually grateful for today? I think it's really hard to bitch and complain and moan and be in a victim mindset when you're so grateful for your legs or for your arms or fingers or a roof over your head or the food in your belly, right?
Yeah, totally. I know that even that's something I wrote down in my gratitude today. I wrote down, I'm grateful for the food in my fridge. I'm grateful for the body that moves for me and works for me, and my subconscious mind that breathes for me without having to even think about it. Imagine having to literally like breathing out and then do all the things that you're already doing, like, Carly, just gotta
I never thought about that. Yeah, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this is amazing. Did you want to add on anything else? I think we did this in perfect time.
I mean, I can't think of anything else right now on the top of my head. I think that was amazing. I feel like these talks are so much fun, and every single topic just keeps getting better and better and juicier and juicier. And I just cannot wait to just see where we go with this. Just so much.
Divine discussion, episode 5, manifestation. Say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the universe. This is how things are going to start changing when it starts with you and gratitude. I think that's everything. So thank you, Madison, for having me and us. This is good.
Thank you. Have a great one.